has not been around very long. If I'm not mistaken, you're maybe like a month and a half have been around,
Yeah,
right?
and it's been even before Pro Core, it's been our rosters that we've been on have always been changing, and it's so nice to finally get a group of. We're still looking for one more. I won't give any spoilers on who it might be, but we're really looking forward for a fifth, just to have the solid five and really just build that chemistry that we already have with the four, and add it onto the fifth and just really have a permanent team.
Hey, I didn't know that. I thought you guys were a solid five, so that's exciting to see. And be sure, let me know what that ends up being, because I look forward to seeing you guys continue to progress in the competitive scene. And before any of the serious action goes out, I think one of the biggest things going on right now is WOGL. And how are you guys doing in that? You are participating in that, correct?
Yes, we've won all of our matches thus far. Last week we had a match, but they only had two people on the roster, so unfortunately they had to forfeit the game. But I believe we had two games before that, and we won.
Okay, yeah, and First Blood did just go out. I caught most of the action there. Just a lot of pressure being put on by Agni Stud and Odin Slow. So very dangerous for that Guan Yu being played by High Rock. And so no surprise. I guess I'm a little surprised. You don't expect the First Blood to go out in the Ra lane. But something notable to talk about that has happened would be Artemis in this mid lane. Obviously a strong pick in this mid now that the HOG is so good in mid. But Bakasura did steal her yellow buff, so she is a little bit behind in that aspect. Other than that, it's pretty standard so far for the start.
Yeah, and that left lane really needs to be careful. If you look at who it is Ra, but he's supporting a Guan Yu, so either that Guan Yu is going to go tanky or damage, but it's really best to put the Ra in a lane with a damage dealer, unless the Ra is going to build damagey. So we'll see how that goes into play here. But it looks like they did do a nice bit of damage on that Odin, so that's a good harass by them, and it looks like they're going to pick up blue now.
Yeah, it did. Oh, Hades and Bastet simultaneously jumping in, not able to follow up really with too much damage. Good whoop, hitting both the players. The stun, though, just missing as she did use, I think, the immunity. Taken down pretty low, gonna sprint away, and Bastet almost getting completely turned around. Look at that, no damage really at all on her or Freya, so I don't think that's how they planned it. Oh, and Bakasura, oh man, I just missed it. It looks like he dove the tower, and the tower ends up getting the kill. The Creeper going to chase down Artemis, but not going to be able to finish it off. So good play here. Artemis is going to end up taking that kill, and now it's going to be 1-1, and the goal differential just about 200, so nothing much. Oh, a lot of damage though coming on to Odin. He eats a single beam, ends up not being a double. I'm assuming he got hit by the ult there from Ra, and the ult from Guan Yu, as both of their ults are down, but ends up surviving through it, so good job there from Odin. And now falling back, pushing the wave with his dash. Man, really surprised he didn't end up getting killed there between those two ults.
Well, it looks like Guan doesn't have his ult yet since he's only level 4.
Oh yeah,
but,
duh.
They would have been able to get the kill had they been a little more patient. But they did push the Odin out of the lane for a little bit, so that'll give them a little bit of an advantage, but not for long. Should probably, now that they have the lane push, get that speed buff and then just head back and try to get back to lane.
Yeah, it looks like it's pretty much what they did. Well, they didn't get the speed buff yet, so there's going to be the whoop just missing. Freya trying to set something up, and she has her ult, and her ult hits like a truck early on. Oh, we might have some action. There's the cats. The ult coming out, going to be doing quite a bit of damage. Cats now going over to on her. The spear going to push away. There's the ult from Hades, going to be pulling in Freya. The two coming out. Now the cats are starting to focus her. They are taken out, though, from on her's ult. Hades dashing in again. Good whoop, though, to stop the three from following up. The slow now coming out on her, going to be able to put a bit of damage into him. Is he going to get taken out? There's the slow using the creep for protection, and now the creep doing a bit of damage. The two coming up from Bastet. Good leap to avoid the three, and he's gonna survive with probably 10 health. I cannot believe nobody died in that exchange.
Wow, yeah, and that's a pretty ballsy play there by the Onher, knowing that he's gonna take all that creep damage, and with the Bastet behind him, with all the cooldowns up. So I guess he just knew his limits, or that was just really good luck.
Oof, Bakasura almost able to pick off this Ra. Ult coming out from Ra. I said that as I heard his ult. Almost able to kill that Artemis. The Ra coming out ult coming out, almost getting the kill. And again, everybody just getting so close. And that was what we talked about really early, is knowing the mechanics, right? He kind of knew his limits and played with them, right? I mean, really pushed them, but was able to essentially do something neither of us expected because of his knowledge of his the god he's using.
Yeah, that was a really good play, just trying to pick up the kill. It would have been nice if he picked up the kill, but as long as he didn't die and he pushed them out of the lane, then it's a good exchange.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to have a bit of collision here at the red buff. Guan Yu taking quite a bit of damage, going to have to dash away, doesn't get the kill on the red buff. Who ends up getting it? I can't see who's it on quite yet. There's the ult coming out, trying to avoid a lot of damage, doesn't get a stun. They do get the kill, and I still don't see who got that red buff. Oh, it's Odin. Odin ended up picking that up. And
I believe it's Odin, it's just under his other buffs.
Yep, and he ends up losing the red buff and taken out, so unfortunately not a good exchange there for Guan Yu. And Guan Yu is already 0-3, only has level 1 Wall of Absolution. That is not good for this Guan Yu.
Just not really smart play. You know that he's going a little bit tanky, so he doesn't really have any damage to be able to do anything to anyone, and just going up there without his Ra, it really hurt him.
Man, I don't know, you probably should just be seeing it any second on the stream, but the ultimate from Artemis, letting her walk out of the Hades ult, I don't think Hades expected that. I know I didn't. He ends up dropping the ult and just walking out, so very smart play from Sprayam, knowing how that change affects Artemis. And Bakasura, though, jumping in. There's the ult from him. The ult, the true damage coming out. The sprint, though, able to get away, and as so many people have been saying in the chat, sprint OP, and is going to be able to get out of there. Bakasura not able to pick up that kill yet.
Yeah, I think maybe had he stayed in a little bit longer, could have maybe picked up a kill, or could have tried. He knew no one else was around, and she was very low health. So, and with that defense buff, is very strong. So definitely, possibly could have picked up a kill there. But definitely better to just stay in lane and just keep up that farm.
Now, I'm surprised we haven't seen more action from this lane here, this on her Freya Hades Bastet. I thought this was going to be non-stop from this matchup, but it really has been pretty slow. I'm not really sure what that contributes to. I think maybe both teams are kind of respecting the matchup and know that there's a lot of turnaround that can happen, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by this.
I think it's just really, they're worried about engaging first, because if you look at Bastet, she engages first. On her leaps away, and Freya ults, so there goes her cat.
Ooh, the bait coming in here, not going to follow. Oh, there's a Hades ult, but they both sprint away, and Freya actually just sits there and tanks it, but the cat's doing a lot of damage to her. Gets taken down. Good whoop, though, to get rid of the cats and the big cat. The ult coming out. Good pin there from on her. A lot of damage coming out onto Hades. Hades going to dash away and get away. Now Bastet doing a lot of damage here to Freya. Freya trying to get away. The pounce finally gets the kill, and now on her going to have two kickers. Look, good leap back from Bastet. Is going to juke the dunk from on her, and now the dash away from Odin. And just as we spoke about how there's no action, we end up getting this action here, and what a great engagement there. They end up going 1-for-0. Stun onto Hi-Rez. Hi-Rez gonna have to back away. The ultimate's coming out, tries to dash to avoid the damage, but is not able to, and is gonna have to fall back. So wow, all of a sudden just back-to-back action.
Yeah, it's really really good action actually in that right lane too. We saw there they tried baiting the Freya and the on her. I'm not sure if I would, as the Freya, try to go up there. Maybe I'd go in as the on her, try to get a stun, so they can just unload some damage on one of them, preferably the Hades, since he can ult them, and they'd have to make them waste their leap. I'm sorry. But yeah, just really smart play by AG, just knowing how to counter their ults. So just really, and the Hades, I mean, he got away with nothing, and then coming back in to help the Bastet out, and the Bastet juking that on her leap. Maybe shouldn't have used that too quickly, since he knew that she was going to be able to go back. Maybe could have followed her a little further up in the lane and then leaped over. And,
Artemis trapped in the ult from Odin now, and they're going to be able to do a little bit of follow, but the sprint again, too strong, able to get away. There's the dunk, no slow follow-up. Sorry for cutting you off. I thought Artemis was going to get killed, but the sprint again gets her out of there. Goodness gracious, it's just too strong.
Yeah, if you didn't know why the sprint was getting nerfed before, you know now.
Right? Seriously, oh my gosh. What is that, 4 or 5 times now that she's been saved because of it?
Yes, and what's I think the most upsetting is that she gets away with around like 10 HP every time.
Yeah, oh, it's just, yeah, just a bit too much, unfortunate. The red buff actually going out into Guan Yu, so we'll see how that ends up working out. Guan Yu still just sitting on the level 1 Wall of Absolution, so we'll see if there's any follow-up. There's a stun, though, onto Ra, and just a 2 to put out a little bit of harassment, no real follow-up, so they're just going to fall back. But it looks like Freya and on her putting a lot of damage in here. Oh, I thought Bastet was engaging for sure as Hades was coming to roll up, but they end up just falling back. So Artemis looks like she'll be picking up the gold. I see that on the mini-map. And, oh, actually, might get an engagement here for Bakasura. Nope, just going to fall back, eat the trap. And then going back here to this right lane. And, yeah, unfortunately, no real action quite yet as everyone's just kind of feeling each other out. Trying to push this tower as the tower is so very low. Oh, Hades going in. The good whoop, though. I don't think the 3 hit. The tower is now down. The silence coming out, and they're just going to fall back. And it looks like a bit of damage being put into Bakasura. Bakasura, the volley does hit. He's taken down very low. Is she going to be able to follow up? Oh, there's the sprint. Going to be chasing in. Drops the ult. Gets the kill. And will be going up even more. Artemis is now 2-0, level 12. Bakasura's 0-2, level 13.
So he still does have the level advantage, and that's probably because he's been able to do so well with taking the defense buff and farming, and just pushing. Even though the Artemis didn't die, he still pushed her out of lane. So it's still pretty even middle lane, I would say, even though he's down a bit of farm.
Sorry, I'm laughing at the stream right now because everyone's just, I think, furious right now with the sprint. As, it seems like every time they're just like, oh my god, you know, like every time they see it. So yeah, we talked about this previously. The sprint just so good, and this is how we're seeing it used, you know, to its maximum effectiveness. Man, I just don't even know what to say about that. I guess just thank you. It's being patched.
Yes, it's sprint OP. And it actually, you know, and it's good. Speaking of the patch, it's good that they, you know, did the change that they did to Heavenly Agility, because now it will get rid of slows. So really, just trying to, you know, direct everyone's attention more so to Heavenly Agility, even though it's only 3 seconds of speed, but it still gives you that immunity to slow, so a better pickup now than sprint will be.
Well, and my question is though too, is it immunity for everyone or just the user?
For everyone.
Oh wow, that's really nice. That could be very valuable in team fights.
Right, which is why we'll probably see it be picked up more so than sprint, because sprint will only be 3 more seconds and no immune to slow.
Right, yeah. So, no real action quite yet. We might have another gank attempt here onto Artemis as, no, it looks like Bakasura being pushed back. Might be baiting. Decides to not bait. I think that ward would have seen Bastet and everybody else there, but Guan Yu actually kind of getting surrounded here is going to dash through and avoid a lot of the damage here from Bakasura as he wasted his 3. However, we heard the whoop. They're chasing down Bastet. There's the ultimate from Bakasura. Team fight ensuing on her, getting taken out very low. Bakasura is finally taken out too. The Hades ult following up, doing quite a bit of damage. Rado able to get a free ult on him, kills him. Bastet going to be the lone survivor in this engagement, and Artemis getting a double kill. Now Agni running right into him is going to get killed. Bastet trying to leap away with her sprint, and that ends up being a 4-for-1. So great engagement there. And now with these dual heals on this tower, this is going down for sure. And that heal, we've talked about how good it is in lane. It's so good for pushing too. The buff to the creeps, getting that little bit extra damage. And when you get a stack of archers like that, man, it just drops towers.
Yeah, and that's really good for them because now they have that mid lane push, so Bastet's going to stay there, defend it, no way of her trying to steal it, picking up an easy gold fury here, and just get a nice clean back, and then, you know, go back to lanes, pick up buffs, and continue the farm.
Yeah, and I just noticed, I just looked over this, I hope it isn't always been that bad, but I have this thing set up in my stream that it will say a message every so often, and it's supposed to say it a minimum of once every 10 minutes. So I don't know why it keeps doing that. Like, it's doing it every 2 or 3 minutes. So I'm going to have to end up changing that. Sorry for the spam, guys. Did not want to do that nearly as much as it is. So if anyone is familiar with Moobot, please let me know, and hopefully I can change that. But right now, the gold differential is up to 5,000. But it's actually in the favor of BM. I don't know, just watching this, I kind of felt like AG kind of had the advantage again, but I think really that last fight, then the Gold Fury really threw them into the lead. So Got to get my head a little bit different here as, Bastet though going to engage on Freya. Freya taking quite a bit of damage. The cat's coming out. Should have dropped him earlier as Sprint again. Eat my dust, cats. Not able to catch up at all. So Freya just going to run away and ends up being nothing to that. Guan Yu going to drop his ult and finally gets the kill on Agni. Gets the stun onto Odin. Odin taking a huge burst damage from Ra, and they're going to get a double kill over there. So BM ends up picking up 2 more kills, bringing it 8-5, and now have that 6,000 gold lead. And now this begs me to ask the question, what does AG have to do to come back into this game?
Well, right now they just really have to make sure that that left tower and right tower doesn't get taken, because that's going to be huge. It's just going to keep increasing their lead. They're going to be able to push those 2 lanes and probably set up for a Fire Giant here, because they're going to have to they're going to choose either they want to go to Fire Giant and try to contest, or they want to lose, more towers if they get it pushed enough. So I would say just stay back, by your towers. Make sure you have Fire Giant warded, and just really try to get your farm up, because you're just really falling behind right now in gold.
Ooh, Freya actually just picking up a kill, and so did Artemis. So 2 more down again, and unfortunately they are not able to do what you're talking about. And the pressure is so high, and it looks like now we're going to see a Fire Giant get taken out as 2 players again are dead for AG. I just don't think they can engage here. Maybe Agni can try and steal, but I really don't think it's worth another player dying and giving them Fire Giant. Ooh,
yeah.
And he's going to come in there. I don't know what he's doing. Tries to get the steal. They got it! Agni gets the steal as Odin leaps in. The stun coming out, though. And now he's going to dash away on her, trying to follow up. Odin doing quite a bit of damage. Is he going to get this kill on Freya? No, Freya getting taken down so low. They don't get the kill. Hades comes in, gets a kill. Alt now onto Ra. Ra getting taken down very low and does not die, just barely lives. But Artemis ends up getting the kill onto Agni. And Hades ends up getting killed in that could have been such a good turnaround. But now ends up being 3 gods for 1. But they did get the Fire Giant, but I do not know if it's worth it.
I don't know if the 3 gods, I think Agni should just went in there, stole it, and then got out. I don't think they should have engaged on that, but definitely worth a try at the steal, because if if they get Fire Giant, they're gonna be able to push that left lane pretty easily, take out that outer tower and possibly the inner tower. So definitely a good attempt at trying to steal it. They noticed that they're 7k gold behind, and giving them that Fire Giant could have been a game ender had they split push, because it's just really such a huge advantage, especially with that gold lead. So you have all that gold lead, so you have all those extra items, and then you have another item basically on top of that with Fire Giant.
Yeah, but 7,000 gold, I don't really know if the Fire Giant, the Fire Giant, or 7,000 gold is, 2 or 3 items itself, so, oof, I don't think Fire Giant's really going to be enough, especially only on 2 of their gods now.
Yeah, like I said, I would have only probably sent 1 person in there to try to steal it. Agni could have tried to steal it from outside. Didn't really have to go in there and risk his life for it. And if they lived, they could have been farming while they were at Fire Giant. They would have beat, and they would have been able to get some wards out there and maybe try to take some buffs that were up, or any farm that they could possibly get, because they're just really falling behind. And in Smite, we know once you fall behind, it's kind of hard to pick it back up and get ahead in the lead.
Wow, who was it? That was Artemis blown up, so very good kill. Doesn't have the Heartseeker, so not as big of a deal as it could have been. We actually don't see, Bastet has a Heartseeker, and so does Anher, so we do have a few Heartseekers in the game, but able to get that kill. They're just going to fall back, but they need to do that about 15 more times for it to really make an impact, unfortunately. And it looks like BM going to be picking up this Gold Fury, putting in a lot of damage, and there comes the convergence now from AG. It does go down, so not able to really get it. The whoop coming out from Odin as Odin leaps in, and now a lot of damage coming out here from Guan Yu. On her using his ult now. He's going to get taken down very low. Odin sprinting away, and now is the chase going to go on? Guan Yu tries to ult, ends up being nothing, but now it's going to be an 8k gold lead as they picked up that Gold Fury, and BM is just running away with this one.
Yeah, and just a good attempt to try to steal it, but also good that they didn't really try to stay in there and engage. She's Bastet be able to pick up a tower as they got Gold Fury, so you know, even though that they got Gold Fury, at least they picked up something out of it, and no one got killed yet.
Yeah, and it looks like Bastet being chased down a little bit, and there's the oh-so-favorite item, Sprint. Gonna use the bees to get out of that stun, and might be jumping through the wall here, but on her can follow, but she can go back through, I guess, is the plan. The whoop just missing. Here comes the slows, though, from Freya. Not slowing too much as Sprint is up. Agni trying to jump. Oh, there's the ult from Freya. Gonna get that kill, and now Agni gonna dash away. Drops the stun, does get it. Artemis, though, gets a root. The auto attack's coming out, and is going to be able to kill him without her ult. So good job. Freya getting taken down very low, going to be sprinting away from Badger. Hades now taking a bit of pressure here, and most likely will be taken out. He's going to try to juke through this wall. He's going to make it out. Dashes through, however, the player split is coming for him. Freya coming in, gets the whoop. The dash just missing because of that. However, the good silence, not able to get away, though. Tries to live as long as possible, and is finally taken out. And gonna bring the gold or the kill lead 17-7, and Ra now sprinting away even with his passive, moving very, very fast, cleans up those creep from Bakasura. And I don't mean to be a hater, but I kind of expect a GG coming out here soon. My guess is one more team fight, and that might be it.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that. I mean, they're not in that great of a position right now to be winning the game, AG. So it'll be interesting to see them try to come back from this deficit.
Good whoop there to get Bakasura up in the air. The follow-up now. Bakasura actually doing quite a bit of damage. Here's the ult. He does eat the ult, so that will stop his any chance of him being able to get that kill. And now Odin is going to be in the mid lane, falling back. And it just seems like this hole keeps getting dug slowly and slowly deeper. So really unfortunate here for AG. However, on the bright side, they did take game one in a pretty good fashion. So I don't want to call this game yet, but it's pretty close to being over.
Yeah, I agree with that. Another thing I would have strongly suggested that AG would have done is if they wanted to, you know, get some engages going and they wanted BM to chase them, that they should have had, you know, one person do it such as a Bastet while, you know, the others try to push a lane, or, you know, just get their attentions, you know, in different places so that they're not all or if you could really just bunch them up in one spot to chase while you push a lane, that's really, you know, the optimal thing they could do here. But doesn't look like BM was going to do that, and they get a free fire giant basically.
And Hades tries to get the steal, and is going to get picked off there as he's the only one in there. And now a lot of damage coming out onto Agni. Agni's killed. Odin getting chunked pretty hard by this on her. Going to use that sprint to get away though, and running into more players. That's two dead. Odin just ulting to try to delay the inevitable.